You know that feeling, right? You wake up completely exhausted, drag yourself through the day, and by mid-afternoon you're just standing there staring into the pantry, desperately hunting for something, anything, sweet, salty, or loaded with carbs. Well, if that sounds familiar, you are in exactly the right place. In today's Explainer, we're unpacking the fascinating science behind the hormonal link between sleep and appetite. I'm so pumped to guide you through this because honestly, understanding what's actually happening inside your body can absolutely transform how you handle your daily health, your diet, and your energy.
Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever noticed that you are just significantly hungrier after a terrible night's sleep? It's like out of nowhere you suddenly crave a massive bag of chips or an entire sleeve of cookies. And your normal healthy portion sizes? Yeah, they just don't feel like they're cutting it. It's such a frustrating mystery we all deal with, especially when we're genuinely trying to be health conscious. But the answer to why this happens is going to blow your mind, because it is definitely not what you might think.
I want you to really internalize this right from the start. It is not a lack of willpower. It's your hormones. So many of us just beat ourselves up over our food choices when we're tired, assuming we just don't have enough discipline. But the reality? The struggle to eat healthy on those exhausting days is being driven completely by your endocrine system and your biological clock. This is a powerful biological drive, a physical response from your body, not a personal failing.
Here is the exact roadmap for our explainer today, and I promise we'll transition from the mystery of the midnight snack all the way to the ultimate biological fix. So we'll cover 1. The midnight snack mystery, 2. Meet your appetite hormones, 3. When sleep goes wrong, 4. Why we crave junk food, and finally, 5. Fixing your circadian rhythm.
All right, starting with part 1, the midnight snack mystery. To set the stage here, our body uses an incredibly intricate network of glands to communicate. And when sleep gets cut short, it disrupts this delicate balance, making healthy eating incredibly difficult. Moving right along to part 2, meet your appetite hormones. We're going to meet the specific cast of characters inside your body that actively govern your hunger and your energy.
First up is ghrelin. You can think of this as the hunger hormone. Essentially, ghrelin is a loud, blaring alarm bell produced primarily by your stomach. When your stomach is empty, your ghrelin levels rise, traveling up to signal your brain that, hey, it's time to eat. And here's the absolute kicker. Studies consistently show that sleep deprivation actively increases your circulating ghrelin levels. So when you're tired, that alarm bell is ringing way louder and much more often than it naturally should.
Next on the list, we have leptin, the satiety hormone. If ghrelin is the alarm bell, leptin is your off switch. It's produced by your fat cells and acts as your body's long-term energy gauge. It literally tells your brain, we have sufficient energy stored up, you can stop eating now. But just as short sleep spikes your ghrelin, it simultaneously drops your leptin levels. It essentially mutes your body's natural off switch, making it so much easier to overeat without even realizing it.
Then we have melatonin, our sleep hormone. Produced by the pineal gland, melatonin is triggered as darkness falls. Its vital job is to synchronize your circadian rhythm, which is your internal 24-hour clock, and prep your entire body for rest. Having a healthy melatonin rhythm is the absolute foundation that supports normal sleep, which, you guessed it, keeps the rest of your appetite hormones properly balanced.
Now let's meet cortisol, which is commonly known as the stress hormone. Cortisol gets a bit of a bad rap, but it's totally essential for our daily functioning. It manages our daily stress and energy availability, normally peaking just after we wake up to get us going, and then gradually falling throughout the day to its absolute lowest point during the early part of sleep. It forms this beautiful natural curve when we're well rested.
And rounding out our cast is insulin, the glucose guide. Insulin has the critical job of acting like a biological key, allowing glucose to move from your bloodstream right into your cells where it can be used for energy. When this system is humming along nicely, your energy stays super stable. But when it's disrupted, you can experience massive blood sugar crashes.
Let's move to section 3, when sleep goes wrong, and see how this builds. We need to look at exactly what happens to all these hormones when we start cutting our sleep short.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how incredibly direct the comparison is. When you get a healthy night of sleep, ghrelin stays down and leptin goes up. You naturally feel satisfied. But throw sleep deprivation into the mix, and that dynamic completely flips. Ghrelin shoots up and leptin plummets. It is a disastrous biological combination. You're artificially hungrier throughout the day, and it takes significantly more food for your brain to finally register that you've had enough.
And sadly, the disruption doesn't stop there.
The cortisol and insulin crash creates a literal perfect storm. When you don't sleep enough, your cortisol remains persistently elevated for far longer than it should. This not only increases your baseline appetite, but specifically encourages cravings for calorie-dense foods and promotes belly fat accumulation. Meanwhile, even just a few nights of restricted sleep drops your insulin sensitivity. Your body becomes terribly inefficient at processing glucose, causing intense blood sugar fluctuations and deep fatigue. Together, this creates a massive biological push toward grabbing highly processed calories.
Which brings us to section 4, why we crave junk food. We're going to shift focus from the endocrine system directly to the brain to see why we specifically crave sugar, fat, and salt when we're exhausted.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what's happening inside a sleep-deprived brain. Your reward system gets dialed way up. Dopamine, which is the neurotransmitter that reinforces rewarding behaviors, becomes highly responsive to convenience foods, the ones rich in sugar, fat, and salt. Simultaneously, your self-control and decision-making centers get dialed completely down. The brain's willpower absolutely plummets. So junk food becomes chemically irresistible at the exact same moment your neurological ability to resist temptation is at its absolute lowest. Crazy, right?
But don't worry, there's good news. Section 5, fixing your circadian rhythm. These chaotic hormone disruptions are often fully reversible just by realigning with our natural biological clock.
To reverse this chaos, let's walk through a perfect 24-hour cycle. In the morning, getting natural sunlight is an absolute necessity to set your biological clock for the day. Then, in the afternoon, you really want to limit caffeine so its lingering effects don't disrupt your rest later. By evening, you need to actively dim the lights in your environment. This signals to your brain that it's time to start producing that crucial melatonin. And at night, sleep in a cool, dark, quiet room. Light exposure is literally the primary driver of this entire delicate rhythm.
So the crucial point is that you have the power to regulate your appetite by improving your sleep habits. Here are 4 specific, actionable steps supported by research. Number 1, keep a consistent schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the exact same time, even on weekends, to lock in those hormone rhythms. Number 2, get 10 to 30 minutes of morning sun right after waking. 3, eat a balanced, plant-rich diet and exercise regularly to stabilize your blood sugar and insulin. And 4, limit your electronic screens for at least 1 hour before bed, because that bright artificial light suppresses the exact melatonin you need to actually fall asleep.
I want to leave you with this final, truly provocative thought. Sometimes, one of the most powerful tools for better nutrition isn't found in the kitchen. It's getting to bed on time. It's a profound realization, isn't it? It completely empowers you to rethink your entire approach to weight management and overall health. If you've been working so hard to eat right, but constantly find yourself battling intense hunger and cravings, please don't overlook the foundation of it all. So, I have to ask, what would happen to your health, your energy, and those cravings if you truly optimized your sleep tonight? Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer. Take this to heart and sleep well.